Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you today is peak stupidity. We are going to take a nice little trip to a Guardian article from the UK, which is then covering something that happened in Australia, a gun control nation, which is now saying one of the dumbest things around gun control in the light of a murder with guns, which should be impossible. But we're going to get into it in a second. Everything will be linked into the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on if you want to keep pushing these two-way rights to this generation and beyond. And thank you for that consideration. Now, today's the last day you're going to hear about this truck giveaway, so make sure you guys check it out in the description box from Vanish. I'm going to say a quick word, show you what's up, and then we're going to hit this. Today, I want to tell you about the biggest giveaway I've ever had on my channel. This is from Vanish Holsters. They are giving one of you this $80,000 custom Rocky Ridge Silverado for free to one lucky American who buys one of their gun magnets or t-shirts through June 3rd. And all you have to do to get a shot at that truck is get one of these bad boys, the storage magnet from Vanish Holsters. You are talking about rare earth magnets that will hold up to 45 pounds across any terrain once it's mounted in your vehicle. It can not only hold the gun itself, also has room for one magazine, and on top of that, it will not scratch at all your firearm. Now, to get entries for this truck, make sure you check this out at the link in the description box below. Vanish is looking to hook you up. This is something where you get a massive discount just for clicking right down there, and you get the entries as well. Thank you so much to them, and check it out. All right, beautiful people. First off, and most importantly, make sure you are having an amazing Memorial Day. Make sure that you remember the reason for the entire day itself, remembering all of those who have fallen and given the ultimate sacrifice in memory for this incredible nation. And that is an incredibly important thing that we make sure we remember every single day. But with that said, let's get into this, because this right here, beautiful people. Oh, baby. If you wanted to see gun control stupid on full throttle, here we go. Check this out. Listen to this as it falls apart. Perth, which is a city in Australia, as I mentioned. Killer of mother and daughter would have had fewer guns under proposed laws. Now, the Guardian is a gun control apparatus, okay? Their argument right now, and the Western Australian authorities for more gun control, are saying, well, this guy who killed his wife and daughter, while he does have more guns, he would have had less guns. And it only took one gun to do the murder, but because he would have had less guns, this would have worked. I'm not making this up. Let's continue, because this is literally how the gun control argument devolves, and it falls apart on its own weight because it is absolutely silly. Check this out. A gunman who shot dead 2 women in their home would not have had access to the murder weapon under proposed gun laws being debated in the Western Australian Parliament. But those laws could still have allowed the person to have access to as many as 5 firearms as a recreational shooter, and up to 10 if he was a farmer or gun club member. Now, before I get into, again, the peak stupid of this, the argument that the Western Australian government, the Prime Minister, all the authorities are saying is that this guy killed 2 people with a gun and then himself, which, again, by the way, is a tragedy. I don't want to get that twisted. This is a tragedy. This is wrong. But the argument being put forward is if they only had stricter gun control laws, he wouldn't have had 11 guns. He would have had 5 guns. What? It only took one to do everything. So underneath the gun control argument, of which we're about to walk through, this undermines itself. And it kind of shows the true destination of where exactly they want to go. Because if you are honestly making the argument gun control works, that's why it was bad he had 11, but he had 5, but it only took 1 gun to do it, we should probably just take all the guns. This is the way that it works. It falls apart under its own weight. Let me continue, because Australia is the model, after all, for Kamala Harris. Remember that. The guy owned 11 guns under a recreational shooter's permit. Okay, there's permitting. And 2 pistols under a collector's license. Well, there's licensing, so we've got permitting and licensing. One of which was used to kill these 2 people. Western Australia's police minister, Paul Papila, said the state's proposed laws would be the toughest in the country. Then they would have prevented this person from obtaining the collector's license, and that would have been limited to owning 5 weapons. So the argument being put forward by the gun controlling apparatus here, because gun control failed, again, you had a permit to own guns. Well, permitting, okay, that means the government okayed it. Then you have licensing for collecting, again, the government okayed it. And now the big argument is, well, if we just didn't have the licensing for the collecting of pistols, we would have gone from 11 guns down to 5 guns. Criminals are going to criminal. Like, at what point do you just look at this and go, this is abjectly stupid? Listen to this statement. Again, this is one of the actual authorities in Western Australia. Quote, this individual, sadly, was a fit and proper person right up until the time he committed that act, and he was a law-abiding firearms owner right up until he wasn't, he said on Monday. Okay, all you can surmise from that statement is you never know when someone's going to snap, so you might as well just take all the guns away. That's the whole point. So what he's going for, and this is why this is such a key thing to cover, because it shows you the roadmap. You can always look to the UK and Australia for the roadmap of the gun controllers here locally and domestically. This is where they go. He passed his background check. He passed his physical check. He passed his licensing. He passed his permitting. He was a good and right, upstanding, law-abiding person until he wasn't. Did you just describe felonious behavior by a criminal? Because I'm pretty sure that you just did. That's the whole point. The only way that you can interpret that sentence and that statement is to say, well, if only the guns didn't exist. Well, then if he had had a snap like this, I mean, he would have just used a knife. Honest to God. This is in a place where you had most recently 2 different knifing attacks in Australia. And this is the kind of stuff that, like, guys, it's a mind virus. When all you believe in is gun control and all you want to do is get rid of guns, it becomes every single problem is a request for gun control. Every single thing. Even when you say things as dumb as this. Got more for you. Last thing here. Under the current law, that's what happens, and that's why we want to make the laws tougher. This is the police, or this is the prime minister. This person would have also been forced to undergo a health check with a mental health component. Does that sound familiar? The government will now consider further measures to strengthen the legislation, including giving police the power to seize weapons following family and domestic violence incidents. Does this sound familiar? That's why we cover these things. That's why I do it. That's why we do it on Katie's channel. That's why we do it on Second Legacy with me and Tim, because the shades of familiarity are almost identical. He's describing red flag laws. But that can't happen here, right? Because we're in America. Because the left would never do that. It's not like they're a hive mind across the entire planet of leftism. The very idea that you want to say, if only we had gun control, he wouldn't have had 11 guns, he would have only had 5 guns, but then he would have still killed the same people. It's obvious where they're going. It's stupidity by incrementalism. I just had to show you guys this. Have a blessed Memorial Day. I will see you on the next one, and I'm Braden. See you later.